Hi guys. So, one of my dear friends that I met through this channel has come to me with this request that just seems very poignant, okay? To ask Spirit for some guidance for the consciousness of addictions, the cravings, that primal impulse, so to speak, within us that often comes out with the inner child, as well as the resistance of allowing ourselves to be in the flow of what the divine wants us to process and facilitate. Okay. And it was very poignant for me because some of you that follow the channel know a little bit of my story, but my father was an alcoholic and my parents split up when I was very young, and then my mother was very much non-parenting after that, and I became the parent as this little child, parenting myself, parenting the family, taking care of things, right? And yet I still have all of that encoded, right, ancestral wounding that actually came from both sides of my lineage, right? On my mother's side, one of the greats owned all of this land in Pennsylvania and drank and gambled it away. So that encoding, okay, was always there. And I can look back and I can see all the ways in which this has played out, not just in my family, but in my own energies, right? And as I'm going through my own karmic separation, and I, years ago have had this, I was already, a lot of us, right, are already very awakened. I really would say that when you meet a divine counterpart, that it's not that it wakes you up into spirituality, but it wakes up your soul to who in the heck you are, okay? And that remembering who you are really unleashes a shit ton of healing that has to be done. Like, you have to heal or you continue to wound yourself very, very dramatically. And as you're being wounded, right, or healing, and things are coming up to the surface, and so some people, right, like through energy work, and I did a lot of shamanic work and soul retrieval and a lot of light therapy and plant medicine and all of these things, and really trying to weave through it, right, without going down the rabbit hole into those old spaces of coping, because as it comes up to the surface, then you have ways of coping. And with the consciousness of addiction and impulsiveness, and that it can be what triggers the chasing energy, the chasing to get hurt, okay? It can be the energy of the running away into the wounding, into alcohol, into drugs, okay? Maybe into gambling or shopping, or, being a playa, right? Like, even that impulsiveness is this need to try to feel this space that you're creating within yourself because of all of the clearing that you're doing by doing this work on yourself. And a lot of people get into these loops with tarot and oracle readings where they stop using them to help them learn and grow, and they do use them in that consciousness of addiction and impulsivity, and I need to get my fix. I need to know what they're doing. I need to know what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to know, okay? And we forget that these are just all tools to go, oh, I knew that. Oh, that's right. That's what I needed to work on. And so I really noticed the last few weeks, because I've been intensely, right? Like I've done all of this work to bring my soul kind of back together, right? Like pulling in this piece that was missing and pulling in this piece that was missing, and just really getting myself into a very aligned energy. And so now I'm working on this massive purge, which means that I am going back through with a, trauma therapist and talking with some of it for the very first time about my traumas and the sexual abuse. And they do say, a lot of you that are drawn to, tarot and that are dealing with the consciousness of addiction, right? You are highly awakened, you are highly spiritual, but you also, in order to become a healer, you came into this lifetime and experienced massive amounts of trauma so that you would be able to reflect from your lessons and help others, right? And there are those that take those lessons of trauma and re-traumatize others for gain. And that might be physical gain, sexual gain, monetary gain, okay? And that's really sad and it's very toxic, but people that don't want to heal, right? Hurt people. And I've heard story after story after story from clients who have paid people tens of thousands of dollars and really received no guidance, right? Whether it be life coaching or spiritual coaching or shamanic healing or, retreats or whatever, they didn't really receive what they were going in for. And instead, they just repeated the cycles of abuse upon themselves. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the consciousness of addiction today. And for those that are dealing with this, what do we need to know to realign ourselves? Because like I said, I've been going through this massive purging over the last couple of weeks. And when I was this little 10-year-old that was in charge of this family, and I'd go to the grocery store to buy groceries, and I would, be like, because I had that math brain, and I'd be like, oh, wow. If I get these cheaper burritos, frozen burritos, right? Then I can have, $1.09 extra, and I can buy this thing of chocolate chip cookie dough, and then I can hide it and I can eat the whole freaking thing myself. Reward center, right? And it is all impacting those same centers, right? That's our primal brain. That's, connected right there to that limbic brain. The neocortex is that chemical reactive primal ego. And it's no wonder that our third eye is right there too, because there's this there's definitely almost like a twin flame sort of an energy between our primal ego and our awakened pineal gland, okay, where it's like fighting for the sovereign like liberation of the soul's body. And so, well, I haven't been drinking, right? Although I did go down that rabbit hole for a very short time a few years ago, when I had my remembrance of who the frack I was. It's the sugar and the salt, because the cells need the energy and they need the communication because they're trying to release things that have been stored in the body. And I can easily go down that hole of too much, right? That's the consciousness of addiction. Too much, right? The Goldilocks is that there is some, and I'm feeling that, there's this Kundalini past energy. Like they're showing me, I don't know if any of you guys are as old as me and remember the magic mirror and Miss Julie, right? Like they're showing me the magic mirror, like you're looking for that place to belong, but within yourself, with something that you're actually trying to release. Okay. So let's see what we need to know here, Spirit, right? In order to realign ourselves, right? Like we know we have the tools to not, mistreat ourselves, right? Like I've got my Lancanto chocolate chips that have no sugar in them. I've got my cacao, my matcha, right, for energy. I've got these little pomegranate matcha, like energy powder packs that I love. I've got all of my gut support, right, tools. I've got shit tons of my little sauna blanket and all of my red light therapy stuff. Like I've got it all. I've got the tools. I've got the meditations. I've got the light therapy. Like, I'm Barbie. All right. It's not just Barbara. I'm Barbie, and that bitch has everything. Okay. I got it all. Within all of us, we actually have it all. But sometimes we just need Spirit to help us to get our shit back together. So, okay. 6 of Pentacles, right? The haves and the have-nots. 7 of Cups, Page of Swords. Okay. Are you really being a friend to yourself? And what is it about the truth that you are running from? There's a comfort level here. Okay, Spirit's saying there's a comfort level here. That you're not wanting to move forward. You actually see the forward movement. And you see the happiness can bring. But there's almost like a fear of the happiness with the 9 of Cups here and the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. Queen of Pentacles is like, right? Like I got this. I got everything. Barbie, right? Again, Barbie has everything. But why then is she looking at this wand that's transforming and being like, oh, there's this action I've got to take, right? But I'm comfortable where I am. I'm putting my happiness behind the moon because, right? Sometimes I don't want to be happy. Sometimes I want to sabotage that. And there is this truth, okay, that is chasing you. Pachamama, okay? Again, like we come from the soul space, okay, which was very dimensionally different, which was pure love. But we were tempted by the consciousness of addiction for something more, something greater. Something where we could have more legacy. And we left that and we flattened ourselves into this dimension. And oh, that fracking rings true, because when I did light therapy the other night, I flattened down into a two-dimensional figure. And we made ourselves smaller than we are. But when we work with Pachamama, she is not only divine feminine, but she is divine masculine. She is the pinhole in the quantum field that we came through into this two-dimensional space. And she's saying, you've been woken to remember the truth that you are a sacred energy. And you are still tapped into that energy, even, she's calling it life years, kind of like light years, but she's saying life years away. You have it all within you. The beloved. Okay. You keep looking at that heart space that you feel is just out of reach. But you're calling it just out of reach because you're looking at it in that two-dimensional state. And it's not a two-dimensional state. It's an energy. And that energy, oh, do you feel that, right? From your past. Some of you may not have met this being yet, but I have a feeling that 99% of you have. And it's 99% of your problems. Okay. Ooh, did you see that flicker? Thunder. Call you friend, but keep you closer. Because the energy reminds me of the velocity of who I truly am at my core. The haves and the have-nots. The drum, the heartbeat, the remembrance, the going into journey space and remembering who you are. Sometimes a little bit shocking. Sometimes you get that flicker and you know the second before it happens, and it's confirmation that this is truth. The happiness that you are running from is yourself to witness the completion of that two-dimensional state. Because when you come into that full union and you energetically are remembering yourself, right? It requires that the inner child, right, works through the medicine wheel. Some of that is in reverse to release karmic energies. Some of it is in forward motion to ascend, to be able to return as much energy as possible so that when you move to this next stasis of who you are, because it's going to be different. Those of us that are really pursuing this, I believe, have chosen not to come back to this state. Okay, we are done with being flat little stick figures. We're not quite ready to go back to the dimensional state that we were in, but we want to enlarge our energy field, right? We want something to shift, and that's where we're working towards. But there's a whole lot of healing that has to happen, not just for yourself, but for the collective consciousness. And that is hard work. And it requires a lot out of you, and it takes a lot of energy. And when your brain starts feeling fried, right? Like you start the seeking, running from that work, running from that energy. And in some places, disbelieving yourself and just kind of sitting and sometimes drowning almost in that water of past abuses. And I'm reminded that in order to bring myself back to a centered state, I had to take a shower the other night and let that water, like, just, because we come from a state of water, okay? It's a different constitution from this in the soul space. It's why we are birthed from water in this dimensional state. We're right. We're kind of like a Renaissance fair, or LARP, right? We're reenacting certain aspects of who we were. And so there's this energy of we can use water to cleanse us. And it can be in the intention in a glass of water. It can be the shower, right? Because they're telling me that some of you may have a phone, but you may not have a home, okay? And that shower may be hard to come by, okay? Fire. And I hear my computer turning itself on, right? Like a moth to the flame with this heart wide open energy. You are doing a lot of earth work, but in the darkness, shielding your heart, seeking knowledge, but sometimes forgetting this path that you are on. I want to know here with my Alchemy of Love deck, okay, what are we still learning right now? The Phoenix fire. We don't have to stay in the fire, right? But the Phoenix comes from the ashes and rises, okay? Like Eros, like Jupiter, right? Who just moved direct. I can understand that ego's dark emotions when seeking love will burn away. Okay, I know that when I am feeling unloved, I often live in feelings of guilt, shame, and blame. And that's what leads us to this consciousness where we run back to that space of addiction. Yeah, this is a breakthrough for many of us, okay? Yeah, the past again, right? This inner child medicine work here. You are dealing with a repeating situation or soul from your past life, okay? It's going to repeat. The medicine wheel is a circle for a reason, right? Spiral. Okay, we can go up We can go back down, we can revisit, we can move forward. The key to my future lies in a return from my past. The past is the present. Okay. I was telling somebody, and I think I said this in one of the other readings, that I have felt like I am out of sync with time. I had an ego death, okay, this last spring. And it was that separation where I really let go of my divine connection with my counterpart mirror soul. And I mourned and I cried and I let myself kind of die over like a period of 3 days. And it was probably the most authentic grieving that I've ever done in my life, right? But since then, I have not felt in sync with this time state. And so I think if you go back to that time period, like a lot of things shifted in my regular readings, and I started letting go of some of the work that I was doing, and things got, messy. Okay, and I feel like I energetically got a little messy for a while, but it was a conversation I had of, right, I need to reorganize and like input myself back into this dimension until I'm, and there's the crown chakra again, until I'm done with this cycle of life, okay? Which I feel is going to be, a good 50 plus years more. But I haven't wanted to experience that, right? Yeah, the feminine is resting, right? Like I've harvested. It's autumn. I've done all this work, right? Feminine is the heart. I'm resting. Okay, it doesn't matter if you are male or female. This is the heart. I'm resting. I've done all of this masculine work, okay? And I don't want to deal with time. I don't want to deal with money. I don't want to deal with the tangible, stupid day-to-day shit, okay? Like I just want flow and rest and recovery. But because you're out of sync, it definitely is going to drive more of that pace sometimes, okay? Yeah, and in this state, right, things come rushing in unexpected from the past, from before, and you don't see them coming because you're not in tune with your pineal gland, because you're out of sync and you're tapping more highly into that primal ego neocortex brain. Okay, yeah, the moon. Okay, soon, in a short time, near future, you're looking right towards cleansing, right? Finishing the cycle, the inner child work, and you're like, I'll be done soon. But you're not in sync with time, so what does soon mean? 10 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes, 1,000 lifetimes? In your flux state, you don't want that, right? Yeah, underlying here, Venus, secrets are waiting. The feminine heart wants to say to what, who? There's Taurus, okay? That's the masculine offer, right? Perpetually, I've been seeking the emotional offer from you since the moment you awakened my mind to who I am. you made me bloom into who I am. And nothing about me is the same, and yet everything about me is the same. And it's perpetual. And I feel like again and again and again, right? Like I'm repeating things. And it's this energy because there's what's missing is the completion to come into this full union. Okay, we've got Pisces, 12th house, and we've got Gemini. Okay, destined meeting in the Lovers. Okay, that was my Oracles of Time deck. What do we need to know here, Spirit? Like, I feel like there's something still right here that's not being seen. My future self can handle it, right? Again, what I just say, there's something not being seen. You're like, I don't want to see that. My future self can handle it. I don't want to deal with it right now, right? I don't want to flux back into time. But being out of time, out of sync, right? It's like they're showing me the card. It's the 10 of Wands in my Divine Union Tarot deck. They want me to show it to you. Watch, it'll be right on top. And I'm going through and going through and going through. And Spirit's laughing at me. There it is. Almost the top. Right next to the lock and key. Right? This 10 of Wands, right? The burden that we've placed on ourselves is that we're resisting going back into the past, and we are resisting moving into the future. Okay, we're stuck in this time. Now look, in the cage. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. We've stuck ourselves there. We've done that, right? And as such, we don't let the universe help us to get off the streets, right? To get off the suites, to get off the sofas, whatever it is, and get things moving. I am grounded and centered. That's what will make the difference here, right? Grounded and centered will bring you back into the timeline, the sync up. I only do what sets my soul on fire, right? Because you want to rise out of the ashes. You've got to let that fire finish consuming you. I am the guardian of my happiness, and I feel strength in the solace. Okay? They're saying it's solace. It's actually silence, but they're calling it solace. So what is it about the solace that you find strength in, right? Because it's not silent. The state that you're in the consciousness of this energy, if this resonates with you, is not silent at all. There's a lot going on all around you in many different time frames and timelines. Okay, on the bottom here I've got, my body allows me to thrive. It will, if you ground and center into it. Okay, what can help you with that, Spirit? Right, what can help with this? Okay, inspiring peppermint, right? Filled with possibilities. What I love about peppermint as an aromatherapist and as a research geek, right? Like, one of the things I suffered from, probably because I was eating all the things as this self-parented person and not dealing with my anxieties that I was feeling because of my empathic spiritual awakenings as that age, because I was talking to spirit from like as far back as I can remember, like age 4. I had severe IBS, and peppermint soothes that, right? That's the inner child, sacral chakra. Okay, and I think of peppermint and wintergreen and spearmint, and I think about that crisp air of winter, right? We all hate it, but how do you feel for just a minute when you walk out into the crisp, cold air, right? There's something inspiring about it, because it's like that wake-up call. It wakes you up, okay? So there's a need to wake yourself up, but also to soothe that little inner child space. Okay, integrity. Okay, cardamom, soothe that sacral space. My thoughts, right? The limbic brain. My thoughts are the creator of my suffering. Okay, that neocortex loop, the chemical reaction that you are seeking in the consciousness of addiction. That is the cause of your suffering. It's not the life that you are living. It's not the people. Oh, shivers. It's not even the people from your past. Okay, it's the chemical reaction that you are trying to clear. And maybe cardamom would help some of you. Maybe you have always felt called to like chai. Okay, yeah, and then integrating black pepper. Okay, you ever notice that supplements, a lot of supplements that are herbal have black pepper added? It's to help absorb. But this is solar plexus energy, and this is allowing yourself, right? I am whole. I'm integrating all of these pieces back into myself. I'm integrating myself back into the universe, back into the timeline. And there's Rose, I love it. And I am love. I am whole, and I am love. Beloved. I am whole. Don't you feel that right there, right now? I am whole. I am love, beloved. I pulled out my rose essential oil earlier today and put it on my wrists, right? Yeah. Have some gratitude for that inner child work that you're doing, because that is what got you moving on this path in the beginning. But you need to know that you are cherished beyond the scope that you were taught or believe. That's a huge key here for you. Where are you here in the journey to yourself? Again, you're mirroring within yourself, the ego, right? And the pineal. It's no wonder that the neocortex, right? There's a memory, it releases a chemical, the chemical comes, it releases a memory, right? But also mirror souls, okay? Remembering who you are. Yeah, you're remembering the past, the fall, and you desire this offer, right? You desire this, again, closing out the cycle, the lovers, okay? The communication, the truth. You desire that. And that could be just with yourself, self-worth, and the inner child, right? There's that shower, there's that water, there's that cleansing. Bringing yourself back to a bliss state of who you were meant to be, what you were meant to have. Getting back in that sacred journey. Okay, underneath that consciousness is chasing. Stop and play. Remember yourself. Yeah, get into the water. This water goes against the grain, right? And be vulnerable, emotionally available, emotionally intimate. Be open with your truth. Love is honest, but we fear our heart because we're so wrapped up in protection of our mind. But there's a consciousness of, like, can you hear the computer? There's a consciousness of what you've been told and programmed as. And then there's the true consciousness of the water from which we came. And the heart center that you remember. And it goes against the grain. And people might say you're crazy. Right? Yeah. And you feel alone, and you feel like people don't understand you, and you may have been labeled with things, and you may, because of this dimensional shift, you may have things that you have to adhere to allow you to walk in this reality, and they may rub against your grain, right? Like, I eat almost completely vegan. Occasionally, I'll get massive cravings for omegas, and I'll have some pastured eggs. It's very rare. That's why when I started Paleo Veggie like a decade and a half ago, I was looking to move from vegetarian to vegan, and I wanted to be paleo, but because I was trying to heal my gut, and everybody's like, you can't do that, right? And I was like, yes, I can, right? But do I mistake? I do. Oftentimes mistake, right? Like, I'll cook steak for my daughter, and I'm like, dang, that just smells so good. But what I learned as I followed this inkling of remembering who I am, and in that remembering this body that I have manifested into for this life, this body doesn't digest that kind of food well. This body doesn't deal with saturated fats well, and this body has very sticky blood platelets. And so plant-based is actually what this body wanted and craved. And so I sought that out. But, you know, whether it's a lifestyle change, whether it's a job change, right? Whether it's a medication that you have to be on. Like, there are things that you might be getting called to that you're trying to rebel against. That's another part of that being out of sync here, right? Defend to the end the worthwhile. Like, what are you, I mean, she's defending something that just makes her so sad. Like, what is this refusal to listen to your higher self about what you are being required to process for this temple in this lifetime, that you're rebelling against, right? That is a 23. That number may mean something to you, but it also comes into the 5. It's the challenge, right? It is challenging, right? You are heaven sent. You know what you know. And when you flow with that, all of that darkness turns to light. Okay? And they're reminding you, this is not the soul. This is the manifestation of this lifetime. Okay? Dreaming a beautiful dream, but it requires that you align into this timeline, tap into all of that energy, and find your happiness. Okay? I want to get a little information here for our divine masculine energies. Okay, divine masculine energies. Yeah. Okay, you've tapped into your soul purpose and you know it. You've touched it. Okay, or it has touched you and it created a ripple effect through your life. Okay, this is your north node, your purpose. It's aligning you. King of Cups. It's your fortress. Okay, it's where you feel emotionally tapped in to your soul for the very first time. But the work is having you put some of those karmic lessons back where they belong, right? And that's the hard work here. Okay. And you feel unsteady in it. And there's a knowing that you feel like you're behind the divine feminine and you're trying to play catch up, right? But what you don't see is that the divine feminine energy, whether this is within you or you're attracting it, is also knowingly in their own shadow work. Okay? Yeah. The union, the completion, and the coming into this creates balance. And that's also Libra, 7th house justice energy here, right? Divine masculine, you've completed this masculine work that you were meant to do. It's just on whether or not you're going to believe it. Because that inner child, right, that 5 of Pentacles tells you that you are not the emperor. Tells you that you are held in place when within you is the empire. It's just a matter of believing it, right? You feel like you can't see the truth because you are going through your ego death. For some of you, this is a broken relationship, person, place, or thing. That's the karmic. And it's opened up this door for you, right? The gift, this heart that was given to you. This heart that was awakened in you. Such a gift. Okay. You're transforming to follow your path. All right. What do you have here for our divine feminine energies? Okay. King of Swords in reverse. And there's the fighter, right? You don't believe the truth of the masculine, right? Like, I don't believe you're being vulnerable. I don't believe you're showing me your whole self. I feel like for some of you, they're holding back the intimacy, okay? And they're wearing this little bit of the last resistance of their heart. And so, feminine, you're not walking away from them, but you've turned away looking at the moon, disregarding, okay, what you want to claim, okay, fighting against the fact that you want to turn around and embrace this truth. Yeah, what is it? My love, one love. The one love that awakened me to who I am. Your rebirth. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. Opened up all the possibilities for you to understand your own masculine drive is actually a sovereign creation of the feminine. Okay, Pachamama. But there's the Four of Pentacles energy here that you block yourself from accessing the piggy bank. You're like, no, it's not mine, right? You want to create this whole new world, but you're looking at yourself and looking at this divine mirror soul in disbelief, and it's the inner child's heartbreak that you are still needing to work through, that you are still processing. And intuitively, you know what you love. Okay, tell me more about what the inner child is seeking here. Thank you, Spirit. I seek what is fated as mine, my destiny, my higher love. Okay. I want to enjoy this. Yeah, divine union. I want all of that. Three of Cups. Okay, divine union, the Lovers. King of Swords, the truth. I want the truth. We started with the truth and we're coming back to the truth. I want the truth to be accepted, that this is our fated truth talk, right? I want to pick up that phone. I want to have this conversation. I want to tell people my truth. I want to be accepted for who I am. I want to reach out for the help that I need, right? I want to communicate what I am feeling. I want people to see what I've been through and to understand it, right? I want someone to understand that there's reasons why I've blocked myself from this piggy bank, right? In the middle here, I've got the Emperor and the Ghost, all right? If I was the Empress, I would believe in the Empire, right? But the Emperor, right, I think ghosted this energy or felt ghosted, okay? This Emperor has a child here, right? They could just be picking the time to heal their inner child because the door is still open. It's important to understand that, okay? And there's the Empress. Okay, again, this is karmic work that's being done, right? As the inner child heals, it follows the path. But until then, there's this blocked energy seeking out the faith to believe in who you are. Okay, the call to move forward here. Yeah. You have to speak the truth. The key is to acknowledge the pain and suffering within you, the consciousness of addiction within you, the temptations within you, to cut through the bullshit and to speak your truth and push it away by choosing your soul path. Okay? Yeah, quit hiding who you are. Take off the mask. It's deceptive. Okay? It's been a waiting game. You've been going in circles and circles, lifetime after lifetime, right? Patiently working towards growing, temperance, right? But in solitude. But you've been learning this whole time, waiting to make a move. This is your chance to make that move. Okay, yes. There's the Tower moment, right? Out of sync with time. But now is your chance to step back in, right? To stand your ground and to move forward. Okay, what does the universe want to share here? Okay, Queen of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, it's time to stop fighting against our feminine and masculine energies. It's time to stop holding back the truth in defensive energies, right? It's time to quit using these programs, there it goes again, right, against ourselves. 7 of Cups. Okay, angel number 444. You have choices. You've been procrastinating and overthinking about them, but that door is ajar, waiting for you to take it, right? 9 of Earth. You've been thinking about it, right? But you think that sort of contentment, even that sort of luxury, right? Like, that's not for me. And I just did a TikTok and I said, you know, the divine lovers, right? It was to the song, shout, shout, let it all out, right? Like, they don't want, in truth, the divine lovers are not seeking perfection. They are not seeking like expensive restaurants, luxury brands, right? What are they really seeking? Emotional intimacy, a friend and a lover, okay? They want that package that they have remembered belongs to them, okay? Again, 5 of Earth, the door is open. It's just waiting for you to walk through into this space of yourself. And again, we're coming back to that King of Cups. Okay, I do feel like masculine, right? There's the World and the transformation, the Tower. Okay, the masculine has gone through within ourselves, as well as within our partners, have gone through a transformation. Some of them may be leaving this belief of who they were and what home was. As they're ending this, again, they're remembering, right? Oh, that's right, the star, okay, the wishes. What fulfills me? What touches my heart? And, oh, I felt that. Ooh, what touches my heart stings a little bit, right? Ooh, I gotta tap into that really quickly. Why does that sting, Spirit? Why does that sting? Because of the Empress. Because I feel the higher heart chakra, and yet I don't feel that I've manifested them. because there's this guarded energy and we've been cut in half and we are separate. How can the transit help you? Breathe through the tension. Okay? Release death. Full moon in Scorpio. Okay? Go through that death. Walk through that door. Transform and accept your new life. I know it's going to be emotionally hard. Let's see what the emotions deck says here. Right? Yeah, that hurt is in part fatigue because you're out of sync, right? You're out of sync because you've been nervous and impatient, okay, with coming into this. Yeah. You're like, I'll come back for you, right? You've remembered and you want this and you're not giving up on it, either side here, right? But there's that fear, okay? I'm nervous, I'm impatient, I'm afraid to take the next step right now. You have to go through this ego death. Allow yourself to take it, right? Because this is something very special to you. Final oracles here, Spirit. Let's get a couple final oracles. Oof, thank you. Yeah. Get into those emotions. Get into that water. Right? That's where we came from. Get into that energy and ride with it, with your community, right? There's this healing of the wounds that is happening. And as you do it, okay, some of you, they're showing me here on the healing the owie. Do you see that, like, the little ice pack on the head? It's not going to be easy, right? This is hard work, guys. Be patient with yourselves. This is hard work. Okay? Especially if you are giving up an addiction, that is hard work, right? Boy, it's easy for me to grab a, good crisps and stick 10 of those Pringles like chips into my mouth and satisfy that salt craving, right? It's not so easy to just hydrate my water and to, use Himalayan salt or something like that to get that electric connection. For some of you, it's going to be a detox process and you're going to need help with that. And there's going to be that hangover that goes with it. Okay? But invite the sun back into your life. Invite the happiness back into your life. Grow under that happiness. And you create beauty all around you. Okay? That was beautiful, guys. So thank you for going on this little journey with me. Thank you to my friend for recommending it. It came just at the right time. I do feel that ping of pain. Okay? Remember that we all have that ping of pain somewhere that we're healing, and that we heal it better together than apart. Okay? Love you guys. Have a beautiful night. All right? Bye.